beyond the policy.
Oye homo beami. Mene so be noani won chagalala. As you can see, I'm polishing up my gown because we are in the homo season. Good morning and welcome to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. I am your host, Yaira Uno. Now you can catch us on GoTV channel 184. We are here live from the studios of Clog TV. And we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can always join the conversation, join the live stream from the comforts of your home or on your commute to work. Here on the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, we bring to you the most informative, educative, and entertaining segments like business, sports, lifestyle, entertainment, motivational quotes, in-depth discussions on current affairs issues to give you a well-rounded experience and set the tone for your day. Next is the motivational quote of the day with Miss Bevelyn Annabelle, and she is going to give us something inspiring to soothe us and prepare us for the day. Stay tuned.
Good morning to you, our cherished viewers. You are welcome to Motivational Quotes on the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. This morning, I want to share something very important in our lives, and it's talking about relationships. And have you ever been in a position where you felt that somebody didn't value you the way they are supposed to? Well, don't worry, I know that feeling. It can be so heartbreaking. But then this morning, our quote is telling us that someone who values you would never risk losing you. And I take the quote again. Someone who values you would never risk losing you. And I want you to think about your relationships. It could be your close friend, it could be your romantic, even your romantic relationships. Imagine you are the one always making the effort. You are the ones making the plan. You're always making reservations. You are the one reaching out. And to get to a point, you become so disappointed. You feel bad because why am I the only one making all these plans? And you feel being cheated. So this morning, I just want to tell you that if somebody really loves you, the person will make the maximum effort to keep the relationship you guys have. So this morning, I have some few comments here I want to read. And first comment is coming from Gilbert. And Gilbert says that, so I was in a relationship with this girl, a very nice looking girl for that matter. I would do everything for her because I loved her and wanted to always make her happy. But this girl never appreciated anything I did for her. I just remembered I once had to lie to my parents just to make her happy. I decided to confront her about it, and her response was so shocking. She told me, if it's a problem for you, you can just break up with me. Just then I realized that she wasn't into me, or she didn't value me as much as I did for her. This is so heartbreaking, Gilbert, but thank you so much for sharing your comment. And I have one last one from Christiana. Christiana is saying that I am a makeup artist. I figured I had this talent when I was very young. Mostly, I use my family and close friends to practice a lot. And growing into the business, I realized that my friends didn't patronize me or even promote my business. They would rather make up with other makeup artists than booking me, their friend. But I still make them up, though I was heartbroken. But deep down, I wasn't okay with how things were going. So I feel they don't value me as much as I do for them. Thank you so much. But sometimes this is what friends do to distract us. I mean, they don't help businesses grow. The fact that the person does the makeup for you free doesn't mean that you should keep coming. I mean, you should help each other grow. So Yaya, I want to ask you that, have you ever been in a position where you felt somebody didn't value you as much as they are supposed to?
I don't think we have enough time to talk about that.
I have all the time. Producer will spare us.
But I have been in that position, and I think that we are human beings, so we are prone to falling short of one another here and there. But I think that we can make the conscious effort to let the people in our lives know we value them. As the quote said, someone who values you would not put you in a situation where, or risk losing you, right? Would not put you in a situation where they can lose you. So if you have people in your life that you value, please make sure to let them know that they are of utmost value to you. You love, cherish them, and then they can also feel that way. And let us also reciprocate that feeling to one another so we can live in a very healthy community.
And also always surround yourself with positive people that do action, people who cherish and love you. That's the only way you are going to be valued. Otherwise, you always have this mindset. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Do not forget to spread positivity wherever you find yourself today. Do have a lovely day and do enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you so much, Bevelyn. And that was a very beautiful quote. And I hope that as you go through your day, you're going to be pondering over this, meditate upon it, share it with somebody, and get more expositions on it to understand it properly so you can practice it as you go through your life. Up next is the online and newspaper review with two of my co-hosts in the persons of Miriam Abnadidi and Clementia Bankwe. Stay tuned. Yeah, welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, we're about to have our online and news review. And I have two of my co-hosts here with me in the persons of Clement Yabankwe and Miriam Abnadidi. Good morning.
Good morning, Yaira.
How are we doing?
We are doing amazing, as you can see, by God's grace.
Yes, we're in a homo season, so how far with your Ghana lessons?
Yeah, I liked the way you introduced the show this
Thank
morning.
you.
Can you repeat it?
It was a one-time subscription, so
Viewers should expect more from
yes,
us tomorrow
yes,
and
yes.
Saturday because we are gearing up towards that.
Okay. So, what about you, Clement? How far with your Ghana lessons?
As you know, a teacher behind the scene.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
and she's really lecturing me, believing that by tomorrow, viewers expect me speaking some Ghana now.
Oh yeah. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Then we start our online news review.
Clog TV, Beyond the Policy.
As in today's world full of information, we sift through the lot to bring you credible, timely, and informative news updates.
We give you true happenings, detailed stories on our newsline to make sure the public is well informed.
When it breaks, we are there. Being it local, international, and business, Express Update is always there to cover.
And in the world of sports, we bring you the best sports updates locally and internationally. Join the news team on Clog TV for all your news updates.
Tell you what happened. You send the mix.
Join me, Oliver Beverly, and Edna Watson on Old School Ride. Let's get interactive and get to know our old legends. Showing this on every Friday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and repeat on Saturdays at 3 to 4 p.m. on Club TV. Old School Ride. Let's vibe with
Show, and we're about to have our online news review with two of my co-hosts. You've already met them, but let me just repeat their names. So we have Clement Yabankwe and then Miss Miriam Abnadidi. So yes, We were talking about our Ghana lessons. Clement says he will soon be our teacher. So.
Oh, sure.
Yes. So, trending news officers. I have to find a new name for you by next month. Yes. What's up?
We'll be hoping to hear a new name from you. But yeah, there's a sad story trending today.
Okay.
And she sang there, he can do it, do it better for you. Far more than you can think that he will live. It's really a sad story that a lot of people are very sad. And it has also raised concerns because, I mean, second death in a year.
So did they say anything about what happened to her?
It hasn't been disclosed yet.
Oh, okay.
But
our thoughts and our prayers are with the families and friends of the lady Inshira, the late Inshira, and we pray for strength for them in these trying times.
Sad.
It's so sad.
Mr. Clement, what about you?
It's so sad. Yara, away from the gospel industry. You see, let's go a little bit to BOG.
Okay.
This morning, going through the various online portals, I realized that BOG has sanctioned some individuals for issuing out a dead checks to people. And I was like, in the first place, why would you even issue such a check?
Okay, what is a dead check? Just
issuing out a check, let's say an amount which is not equal to the amount you have in your account.
Oh, okay.
So you issue more than that. So probably you have thousands of cedis in your account and you issue out a check to, I issue a check, Yaira, 2,000 Ghana cedis.
So where would I get the rest of it?
That's the issue. So, and this thing has been going on since 2022 to 2024. And Bank of Ghana realized that over 247 people are involved in such things, and 47 entities are also involved in that. So due to that, there are sanctions on that has been placed on them. But going to this story, I was like, in what accordance? Because before you place sanction on someone, they should be in accordance. I realized that according to the bank's specialized deposit taking institutions, it says that, and the public are reminded that under Section 313A of the Criminal Offence Act 1960, Act 29 or Act 29, as amended, it is an offence punishable by a fine or imprisonment of up to 5 years for any person to issue such a check. But BOG did not give such people imprisonment. But what they give them is they can't issue check for 2 years.
Okay. So
that's a sanction given them.
Are they going to, like the entities you mentioned, these are businesses, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So are they going to name them so that, you know, unsuspecting individuals will not fall into their scam or something?
So I think this is what the public has been asking BOG about, that why not bring out the name of such entities and such individuals? But I think BOG want to work in the aspect of protecting customers. You see, this customers' information, and I feel that releasing them out, it wouldn't sound well. Though it's a form of deterring other people from doing, but also in the aspect of banks, according to their policies, it's not right for them to do such a thing.
Well, I think business-wise, it is not advisable because, I mean, at the end of the day, you are going to draw away their clients and other things, and it will turn back into, you know, leading to economic hardship and, you know, that kind of cycle. So they have to be considerate in doing that.
Well, I do agree with what you're saying to an extent, but then also, you are a business.
Yeah.
People come to you for a service and you are putting their lives, or even so in a situation where, you know, you've been issued this check, you go to the bank and things. What happens if you are rather suspected of being a thief and things like that? You are also putting your clients in some form of jeopardy.
Yes.
And naming and shaming them would serve as a punitive measure where they are more or less scapegoats, and then also a deterrence to other businesses. So even if they are named, it does not necessarily have to be that, okay, Clement and Sons Company Limited, they are also part, but they don't need to mention that, okay, this is the amount they have in their account, and they shouldn't give those details, but we need to know the name so that when I hear that Clement and Sons Limited is behaving this way, I will not go towards Clement and Sons.
Yes.
Then also, so maybe for some time, so let's say the list has been out for a while, then they stop that behavior. Then maybe Bank of Ghana can come out with a statement that okay, they've realized that these people are, they have sort of learned from their mistakes, or they've learned their lessons. Then we can also be given the assurance that we can start banking or start transactions with you again, because you can't leave us in the dark.
That's true, but Ira, you see what Mimi said, when it comes to business-wise, it's not advisable to do that, because as she said, you end up losing your clients. Yes. Though it's for the general public, it's of good interest, but in terms of business, it's not the best.
And I also understand Yaira's point of view, because clients need to be very open and transparent. Like there should be some form of transparency when it comes to where they are saving their money and other things. In response to that, I think the finance minister made a statement the other time in response to the Gold Coast clients issue. He wanted to advise clients or people to investigate into, businesses and her. So I think Yaira also has a point there that there needs to be some kind of transparency from the government side and also the business or the organization.
And then also these businesses are very much aware of what they are doing. If, when we went for the Ghana Report Summit, there was even a point where they said, maybe we should even start naming and shaming people, perpetrators of misinformation and disinformation. If Clock TV, we know that we are a media house, and we deliberately churn out disinformation or misinformation. If we are named and shamed, we know that this is misinformation, this is disinformation, but we want views, we want clicks, and those things. We are very much aware. But if we are named and shamed, are we likely to continue? No. Until it comes out that, okay, it seems nowadays Clock TV has been following the right path, then people would come back to trust us. But then you can't just tell us, oh, we are protecting their privacy. These people knew what they were doing. These people were putting innocent lives at stake. This business probably owes me this money. They've given me check as if they have the money in their account. I go to the bank and I get there, the check bounces. My children, my family, hunger.
You see, we get it. We get your point.
You see, I want to chip in this. Somewhere 2017, I was working with one business entity. Some around Dansoman. And a client came, purchased a product, and after purchasing the product, he told me that, oh, I'm going to issue a check to you. So on Monday, it was weekend, Saturday, so on Monday, go to the bank, go and withdraw. On Monday, Yaira, that was GCB Bank. I went to GCB Bank to go make withdrawals. When I got there, the manager had to call the person for, I think, authorization before the check could be issued to me. So he called, the person was like, oh, don't give him the money because he didn't call me before going to the bank. I was like, how come? You've issued a check to me. You've endorsed it. I went to the bank. Now you are telling me that, or they are telling me that I should call you before they grant me the money. Fine. The next day I called you before going. Yeah, till now, that money, I didn't get that money. I still have the check in my possession since 2017 till now. So as you said, one, it's better to name such people out there so that people will be aware of it. But let's wait to see what Bank of Ghana would
even
also
with
act.
your situation, are you not likely to tell people around you, your loved ones, that, hey, this man, be careful of him? Are you not likely to do that?
You are.
So that is what exactly the naming and shaming will do. Because now that you've told us about this, and maybe off stage or something, you tell us that it is so and so and so. The next time we come across anybody remotely like that, we know that, hey, this person has behaved this way before. And even till now, we've not gotten your money. So we know that on Sisa and Isubai, you see. So, yeah, Bank of Ghana, we are waiting for them to say something, and then, because lives are at stake. So, any other news?
Of course.
Streets people, yes.
Samoa is here, and we cannot talk less about it. Yeah, Clock TV, we are pitching camp at Gamshi tomorrow and then Saturday.
Yes.
And we want to bring our viewers a live coverage of, some interesting portions of the Homowa celebration as part of our morning show. So that is what Clock TV intends doing tomorrow and also Saturday.
Okay, thank you so much. So let's go quickly into the online news. So the first story here says, Soon, 25,000 street lights will be installed throughout Greater Accra, Titus Glover. So, according to plans released by the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council, 25,000 street lights will be installed around the region. The street lights will be solar powered, according to Daniel Nikwate Titus Glover, the regional minister, and this is in response to numerous grievances from drivers and locals in the Greater Accra area regarding low visibility on numerous highways at night. During a regional town hall meeting, Mr. Titus Glover stated that the street light repair project is a component of efforts to reduce crime. So,
I think this is a laudable cause that the Greater Accra Regional Minister, in collaboration with or under the auspices of government, is embarking on, and we are happy about it because, I mean, we know the rate at which crimes and theft cases have been increasing in our country, and it's very, very alarming. And so, you know, the psychological impact that these street lights, when they are fixed, are going to have on people's lives cannot be understated. It's going to help them live around, you know, with that kind of sense of security and safety. And case studies, I mean, studies around have shown that cities that have lights and other things, there are no crimes or even less. So I think the other time I traveled in my dream. I went to New York. I went to New York. I visited Dubai, and you know, you could see how the streets were all lit. You know,
you should have taken pictures.
I did. Just the phone I used to take the pictures is not here.
Okay.
I mean, when you read stories surrounding these countries, you can tell that crime rates in these countries or cities have significantly reduced, and that is what we are hoping that the installation of these street lights will do. But that notwithstanding,
yes, she's coming to it.
There have been instances where these street lights, when installed, were destroyed by criminals and these same thieves because of the solar panel that is, you know, it's expensive. So they destroy the lights and then they sell the batteries and other things. So my issue is, are they going to put in some sustainable, you know, some sustainability that's going to ensure that the street lights are protected and other things? Clement, you finish with your point.
Yes. So as you said, this project is not new.
Yeah.
It's not new. It started way back 2022, 2023, and now this is the third phase of the project. In 2022. 10,000 street lights were installed in the Accra City. In 2023, 20,000 street lights. And also in 2024, the project is targeting 25,000 street lights. And I think it's a good cause. As you said, we have a lot of economic significance around it. You see, business-wise, I will talk from that point of view. So when you look at the economic significance of this street light installation, especially someone would ask that why not the normal traditional street light that we know, but rather the solar powered. You see, in terms of cost effective, as you mentioned, it's going to be quite less, especially in its maintenance, as you rightly mentioned. And this time around, the street light is also not on the national grid. So there's no need for the municipality to pay light bills on them. Because of late, we used to pay light bills, and you see street lights, it's be part of that. But when solar panels or it's being solar powered, we are not going to pay that. So that is going to be cost effective for the nation and also for the municipality as large. Moving forward, in terms of the aspect of comparing it to energy inadequate or the outage of power. This is solar powered. So there's not going to be like it's light out. So there's no street light. Some part of the country there is street light, but during the night you realize it's light out because of that power outage. But this time around, since it's solar powered, there's not going to be such instances where there's going to be light off and that kind of stuff. And the most interesting thing is this: whenever a city is light up during the night, it boosts businesses. You are able to sell during the night because you're not afraid of you're not for the criminals.
Exactly.
It increased tourism because people would like to see, hey,
it beautifies the
streets. So it brings about tourism, and notwithstanding, it also attracts a lot of investors.
Exactly.
Because investors will like to expand production even during the night.
Yes.
So if these street lights are all over, then it's really going to help. But the question is, where is this street light going to be installed?
That is the
in my personal, I go to realize it's going to be installed on the Temamoto way.
Especially.
Yes, especially. And there's going to be a pilot section with a company to know the exact place they are going to install it.
I think
there's going
they
to
shouldn't also forget the Achimota Forest.
Oh, yes. So I think the next phase, they said the next phase, they are going to look at the N1 highway, the Achimota Forest. They'll look at the overhead.
A dungeon. Like, it's very scary at night. I mean, you can't use that. Even drive, those with cars are scared to,
use that stretch,
So,
but as much as all these good things are going to be happening, because we also need to be a little realistic and come back down to the state of the nation that we're in, and looking at the cause and effects issues here, where people are there are definitely going to be people who would steal these solar panels and bulbs to go and sell. But what is the cause of that? Poverty rates, unemployment rates. Because there was a time we heard that even nuts and bolts at the Adomi Bridge were stolen. Now, if you do this and the bridge falls apart, you are going to kill so many people just because you need something to eat. So what exactly are we also going to, or what is the government going to be doing about situations like this, where they are going to be able to prevent people from, because if they are not that hungry, they are not going to need to steal government or state property to go and sell.
But Yara, I understand you, but this one also, I think it lies with we the media. We should be able to educate the viewers and the audience at large, because the government is spending or investing so much into this project. And if at the end of the day, as you said, as a result of hunger, the economic hardship, you just go steal this solar-powered light.
And they'll come back because this is 25,000. This is probably a business venture for somebody.
Oh yes, a business venture for somebody. So we should educate them that they are doing this for our own good, because in the case of armed robbery, in the case of all these kind of road accidents, even when there's no street light, there's road accidents because the drivers can't see well during the night. So as a result of all this, we should be able to educate them. One, the government has done its part to do this. So we, the media, or people in opinion leaders and all these people, assembly members, should educate their people that, oh, this thing is done for us. Though we understand that the economy is very hard, but that doesn't mean that go and steal the street light.
I totally understand, but there's also the point where education does not feed people, at least not immediately. So if our standards of living are improved, because as you mentioned, Dubai and things, do you think people are stealing street lights in Dubai?
Ira, I get your point, but you see, these are those that steal the bulbs, and they are thieves. They are people that have been doing this thing like for a number of years or a number of times, and it's not as if they don't have jobs and there are no jobs. Government has done its part, just as Clement said, and it just lies on us as citizens to understand that government is trying for us. What will you gain if you should steal the batteries, the wires and other things, and then come back to the same streets and steal from people? What would you get from that?
These people don't care about what they will get. That is what the problem is.
On mitigation strategies, I believe that community policing is one aspect that governments can, look into. You can get people around, intermittently or once a while. They pass through such areas to see, and then involving the police and other security agencies also to do their checks, regularly is going to help. Protect our street lights.
Yes, that's true.
So away from being the professor of doom, I also like the fact that this street lighting thing is being put up because it's going to reduce the incidence of road accidents. Especially because looking at the motorway, almost every day there's something going on there. And now it's going to be well lit, so people can, use the roads very well. And even in my area, in my neighborhood, the lights only come on during you know what I mean, a certain season.
Yeah.
And at least now that more lights are going to be installed, maybe it will be on throughout the year or throughout the years. So I'm glad about that. We have a comment. Hey, small Ghana I've learned. You've typed Gav. I will try my best to read. It says, hello, Yaira. Hey, oh, hey, fail. Me, big bemo. I'm sorry. Obiba Nikwe. I think you said I'm looking beautiful. Thank you. We are all looking beautiful here. We thank you for your comments, but please keep it in English. Tomorrow, you can send us your Ghana comments.
Yara, what's the name?
Obiba Nikwe.
Is that not our very old
our
Obiba?
very old.
So I think that's the Ghana name.
Yes,
Obiba Nikwe.
yes, selected as well. Tomorrow we'll hear Clement's name.
Yeah, we'll release our names tomorrow. Don't worry.
Okay, let's quickly go into the second story. Workers of PBC Limited take to the streets over salary arrears. So the story says, Produce Buying Company of Ghana workers clad in red and wielding placards have gathered at Abeka Junction to protest unpaid salaries before marching to the company's Joel headquarters to express their discontent to management. This demonstration follows a similar protest in the Ashanti region on May 29, 2024, where employees demanded improved working conditions and called for state agencies to investigate the company's financial management. The workers, led by the pressure group of PBC Limited, lament the hardships caused by the government's failure to pay 12 months of salary arrears. They urge Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to expedite payment processes, while the Ashanti Regional Chapter requests the Economic and Organized Crime Office to probe the company's financial dealings, specifically sample residue amount. 12 months. Me, my salary only delays a few days, Karen.
So every single day when we
sit here, we'll have to talk about either one or two.
Yes, there's always a protest going on.
And this issue, I don't know, my concern basically has to do with accountability and also corporate accountability and governance when it comes to issues like this. I will always talk about transparency. Why is it difficult for management of organizations, institutions, whatsoever, to be transparent to their workers? Why is that difficult? Why?
Mimi, let me give a little background about this whole situation. You see, PBC, as Raya read, it's a state-owned company, and they deal directly with COCOBOD. Yes, and this company has issues with finances. So over the years, they borrowed some amount of money from some banks, like the AFD, that's of Car Bank, and UMB, GCB, in order to support their business or support their production. But they've not been able to pay such an amount. So as at last year, these 6 banks took PBC to court in order for them to pay such debts. So there was a ruling in October 2023 ordering them to pay such debts by selling off some of their properties. And the total amount of debts they were owing was 495.4 million Ghana cedis. Wow. 495.4 million Ghana cedis. So they are supposed to sell some of their property, including their headquarters at Jolu, so they can be able to settle such debts by PBC. And these banks, after securing the court order to do that, they move on to sell such property so that they can easily recoup their money from PBC. But I think it's still in the pipeline to make sure that things are done. And this situation of workers too has set in. So one, I think because PBC is not performing well financially, they can't even meet their obligation, financial obligation. And in meeting financial obligation, this aspect of fixed cost, and this liable cost in the aspect of payment of workers, where workers' salary has delayed for one good year. It's not a good sign.
Not at all.
It's not a good sign, because when you go to the Labour Act does not permit that to happen.
Not at all.
According to the Labour Act 2003, Act 651, Section 73, that talks about payment of wages. It says that employers are required to pay wages and salaries promptly. The Act...
Emphasis on promptly.
Yes, the word is promptly. It says the Act specifies that wages should be paid at regular interval, not exceeding 1 month. But this time around, 12 good months.
12.
How are they coping?
You see, that is where I come in with my issue of transparency, because the workers, might be thinking that there is some form of potential mismanagement.
Because they are even calling for, I think, dismissal or resignation of some of their leaders.
Yes.
You get it.
And you do know, this is alleged. Let me use the word alleged, because according to one source from management of PBC, they are saying that such losses is not from their end, but it's from the end of Cocoa Board activity. You see, so and as Mimi said, they should be transparent to Ghanaians that this is not the situation. It's not our own negligence or our own actions that has resulted to this, but it's rather from this angle.
Even with that, the blame game is not necessary, because if each and every one of these workers decide they are quitting, the company cannot run. So even if whatever the problem is coming from wherever. The fact that you have workers should be your priority, that we need to pay these people, because without the workforce, the company cannot run. So you can't say that, okay, it's from Cocoa Board, so we can't do it. They've been working. And that's what I even want to commend them for, that they've still been coming to work, even though some of, I think the pressure group leaders, some of them were saying it's because of some sort of intimidation, but they've been able to keep up coming to work. Because if I calculate my own transportation to work daily, it is somebody's salary, and for a whole year.
A whole year, 12 months.
And they've been coming to work, they've been doing the work that they need to do.
And you've been receiving
the income. So why not at least
you just need to
even give them something to compensate or something? Because they even accused some members of the management of receiving payment, and then also they were also demanding to be paid their tier 3 pensions and something like that. So it seems even SSNIT is part of the shareholders of their company as well, and it's as if they are just radio silent on them. And these people are going through so much, and it doesn't look like their management has them at heart or is even thinking about them. But these are human beings with families, with livelihoods to support. Where are they going to get the extra money from?
So Era, that's the whole issue. But employers still have the power to fight for what rightly belongs to them, because according to the Section 68, the Act 651 I quoted, it said protection of remunerations. He said wages must be paid in legal tender and cannot be withheld. It cannot be withheld. That's just, you cannot be withheld just like that. And whenever it happens like that, employees have the right to go to the courts to seek for legal proceedings against such organization. They can also go to the Labour Commission for them to quickly resolve issues. So I think PBC is using the internal means to resolve such issues. So if they realize that's fine, we've tried and it's not working, I think Labour Commission is close to them. They should go to them, reports, and from there they go to the legal means that they want to.
All this going to, as it has come out, I mean, if even the government can give them something, they should be at least compensated, even if it's just maybe for 6 months worth of work, so that they have something to fall back on. It gives them some kind of hope. Because for all you know, they are about, I think, 750, right? For all you know, more than half of them have even started looking outside for new jobs. Yes, even jobs are so difficult to get. Now, working at a job where you are not paid at all.
But the question is, the company itself is struggling financially. So how does a company ends up paying workers? That is another talk for the day.
They said something about not being directly under the Controller and Accountant General payroll. And that, I think, based on the sales they do and things, they get their profits and things like that. So if that is the case and it's a state-owned company, why not just put them on that payroll as well? And then the proceedings can be put into a different account, something else. You know, I know how these businesses work where you can shift them and then the savings can happen for them so that regardless, the company can still stay afloat.
I think the call on the vice president to look into the issue was also very instrumental, prudent at this moment because he happens to be
the flag bearer.
Yeah, so maybe he will look at some mechanisms and just as you are saying, some ways to help them. Yeah.
So we have a few comments. Rose Entertainment says, good morning, Clog TV and hashtag Cocoa Digest Morning Show team. I am Charles, watching you live from Dubai. Good morning to you, Charles. Mimi seems to want to join you, so she will hit you up so that she can come to Dubai with you in real life, not dreams. Rose Entertainment again says, you're all looking beautiful this morning. Thank you. D&J Ventures says, good morning, our ever-love Yaira. Good morning to you too. Obiba says, please, this is the translation. Hello, Yaira. How was your night? You look beautiful. Have a nice day. Obiba Nikwe. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for translating. And yes, so those are the comments we have now. Yes, the last story is... The UK protest has not affected any Ghanaians, according to the UK High Commissioner. As per the Ghana High Commissioner to the UK, Papa Uso Ankuma, the Ghanaian population residing in the UK is not much affected by the current protests. This comes after an anti-immigrant propaganda campaign fueled by anger following a knife crime that claimed the lives of 3 children in Southport, Northern England, resulting in protests late last month. About 100 people have already been charged by authorities in connection with the violent rioting. According to a Tuesday statement from the UK's Crown Prosecution Service, the events were purportedly anti-immigration marches at first, swiftly descended into chaos and violence. Mr. Ankuma gave assurances that notwithstanding the unrest, no major harm has come to Ghanaians. So, UK protests.
Yaira, this issue is all about anti-immigration and it's all sparked somewhere in July 30th when 3 girls were killed by, multiple stabbing, by a young minor, a minor who just turned 18 in a few days ago. And according to the stories, as I read, the guy was someone falsely posted online that he was an immigrant or an asylum seeker and also a Muslim. And he did that to the little girls who happened to be white or UK residents. And that false information spread across all social media platforms and the internet as well. And that has led to the riots we are seeing today, and it is not happening in the entire UK. It is some parts of UK. I'm talking about Manchester, Liverpool, and some other areas. And so it was just a little misinformation. Let me put it that way. Though it has to do with stabbing, killing and other things
people.
That has spread like.
So, is there any
fire.
information about who exactly this person is aside the misinformation that came out about him that went viral?
Well, the court has not revealed his identity because they said he's yet to turn 18. He's not yet, in the UK, minors are not
protected by okay. So these protests, yes, it has started as anti-immigrant propaganda, but if care is not taken, it can start bordering on xenophobia because, as we know, yes, racism still exists, and it's 3 white or Caucasian kids that have been killed by a black man, right? An African American or an African person of African descent. So something like this would probably give ground to these extremist Caucasians who are very, very racist to start stuff like this.
They started it.
Exactly.
Actually,
And how long till it becomes, extending this hate to just anybody walking around that is not, Caucasian.
And apparently they are set to form other groups in the coming days. They said next week, Wednesday, they are going to embark. They are forming new, set of protesters or let me put rioters to, have their protests in the UK.
Yeah.
So it is not something that looks like it's going to end anytime soon. But my issue is this story underscores the kind of anxiety that lives within people, that the little information they get, they want to spark something out of it. We as humans, we all have our fears, our issues, and the moment someone says something very small to trigger that,
then it just blows up.
And you don't want to blow up alone. You want to have people that can resonate with how you feel, and then you do it together.
Yeah.
And I think we as Ghanaians can take a cue from this, that we need to make sure that we need to work on our anxiety, actually. That's the whole point.
Yeah. And then we also need to fact check information so that we don't just swiftly go into action based on just anything we've seen online.
Yeah.
Yes.
And most importantly, let me talk about this. We are so much concerned about our brothers and sisters, especially Ghanaian citizens who are in the UK. As the commissioner, Papa Wusu Ankuma, who was the former MP for Sekondi constituency, has said, we are trusting him to make sure that our sisters and brothers out there are safe and sound. Because, you see, this is someone's country. So if issue is hitting you up, Yaira, you have nowhere to run to.
Yeah.
You have nowhere to run to. And if you are not careful, they might end you the visa, coming back, and all this kind of stuff. So please, to the commissioner again, they should protect the Ghanaians out there. And I know the UK will do that. And as Mimi said, we are an election year. So we should be very careful. The kind of information we send out there. I think that is why Ghana Report Summit, what they did was very, 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 very right. They did very good thing.
More of that.
Yes.
Way more.
And you see, I don't know, but if you've seen from the news, the president said something during the summit. And I think the former president has also come to counterattack such a message. So if I think such issue is happening, it will turn to the followers.
Yes.
That is when, as we said, issues will start popping up. So please, we are begging. Informations we communicate out there, we should make sure that we check it, that it's really true. If not for that, please, let's just remain quiet and observe what is going on.
And we should also have that kind of sense of unity, even when we are in diversity.
Yes.
We have different political parties in the country. We all belong to our affiliated parties and other things. But let's always remember that Ghana first.
Ghana first.
Ghana first. Ghana is for you, Ghana is for me, Ghana is for all of us. And so in as much as we are divided when it comes to political parties, we are together when it comes to Ghana. So let's think about that anytime we are doing that. And let's support each other. I mean, we are all together in this. So let's provide that kind of support for our neighbors, our friends, even our enemies. If you realize they are going through difficult, yes, the Bible says, love your enemy, right?
Oh, yes.
So if you
love
realize,
your enemies as yourself. And the Bible even says, pray for your enemies. But this moment, people end up killing their enemies
not more
and stuff.
than yourself.
Yes.
Okay, before we enter church. Thank you so much for joining me here for the online news review. And I hope to see you tomorrow on the grounds of Gamashi.
Oh, yes. We are coming.
So we have one more comment. Good morning to you, Yaira, and your crew members. Watching you live from Dobro, Deti Millicent Moni. Hi. Good morning to you too. And this brings us to the end of the online news review. Up next is the lifestyle segment with Miriam Abnadidi and her guests. They're going to be discussing the role of music in cultural celebrations. And she's going to be bringing some really, really cool musicians on. So right after this break, Miriam and her guests will take the set. We'll be right back.
They're designated Task Force X.
Welcome to the Suicide Squad.
OJ and Charles Manson one available?
Deadshot is a go.
Shrapnel's a go.
Tiger's a go.
I created the Huntress.
Yeah, well, you created Slade too.
I have my allies, just as you have yours.
Be prepared for anything.
If they're wearing a mask, they get a bullet.
Once you let the darkness inside, it never comes out.
What are you gonna do? Kill me?
I need my gun, Kane. I need the gun. You won't have the gun.
I've never met the smart, dangerous, very bad man. I'd kind of like an introduction.
I run a legitimate business enterprise.
And my job is to catch scumbags. There's no doubt in my mind. I know what you are.
Extraordinary accusations call for extraordinary evidence, Detective. Prove it.
I will. Eli, get inside. Get inside.
We can nail.
I need my gun, Kane. I need the gun. You won't have the gun as soon.
Tell them what happened. You send the mix.
Join me, Oliver Beverly, and Edna Watson on Old School Ride. Let's get interactive and get to know our old legends. Showing this on every Friday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and repeat on Saturdays at 3 to 4 p.m. on Clock TV. Old School Ride. Let's vibe with the
Today, Asafogo rule Asapo. Come here for me to here. Monica walk we are more than them. Wipe up yame. Wipe up yame. Wipe up yame. Attend on Asapo lawu. Okay, mwembole mawu. Yabo semo ko behu. Lumbo pori guda. Babu seta baba. Jinti se diaba. I'm the light in the darkness. Oh, you mean no me kakane? No ni yeleji amale. Obedo mo kosu no gapilo. Mi na nye fetro mo shitolo. Inkaba batele kaya yo. Ifo ko kaje bonyo bumi. Yeah, I don't fear who. Kefo pano na abetu. Medu sama tongu amaga. Ida detective oshika. And go on the mind, the mommy, Miami, Bukwemi, Womba, Accra with you. Mommy, Miami, Bukwemi, Womba, Accra with you. Jinjin Kengi Abedra, yes, Accra with you. Who walk down, who think crying, Bosu, Accra with you. Mommy, Miami, Bukwemi, Womba, Accra with you.
And you're welcome back. It is still the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, and it is time for us to have our lifestyle conversation here on the show. My name is Miriam Abna Adede, and I hope you enjoyed that beautiful tune that was just played, and that was Accra We Day by Accra Boys. Yeah. So this weekend, we are gearing up for the vibrant Homowo Festival happening here in Accra, and Clock TV happens to be at the Gamashi Homowo Festival, and they call themselves Accra Boys. So let's get straight into the conversation. Hello, Accra Boys. Yeah, I just watched Accra We Day.
Yeah.
Can you just briefly tell us the concept behind that song? Because I saw, some number of artists, performing in that song.
Yeah, Accra We Day, that song. You have to do music for Ghana. Yeah. We are doing music for Ghana, exactly. But we stand for Accra.
Accra.
What the book in? What the bar only?
Yeah, Inushi. Many mommy and you been doing music.
Oh, it can take like, let me say, 13 years.
13 years.
Yeah.
Together or?
Been together.
You've been together for 13.
We are brothers.
Brothers.
You.
I see involved in performing during Homowo seasons.
I can say since we involve ourselves into music, any time of occasion we represent.
Oh, I see. Personal perspectives. So you say yours and he will also say his. How has Homowo positively impacted your life or changed your life?
This one, then let me speak down because I want my people to hear me. We told you your book and I get many be let us hear no. Ona a boost on my morale and a bash. Number Nagashi will be able because of your music no represent Homowo, no pure music only is not okay Homowo. Understand? Or be Pierre, company music or kayak or jagan. In Africa, you're not your natural Homowo. Or fear only concern or fear. Or music, okay, what if I was.
Wow. I think I can translate that. I understand, just that I can't really speak. So all you are trying to say is that anytime Homowo is you are able to go to stage because people will be anticipating to see you on stage, right? And that has positively impacted your music career and your life as well.
Exactly.
Right? Let me hear from you. How has it also changed your life?
Come on, na kaino wo fe gan form video. She me to ma shout out kan awo. Awo nyanyo wani. Okay. Lady money wo kele fi olo fe no ye gan. Wo ke be e she any amount of stage kele bi ha wo. Wo kele je shikeje day one. Yo Homowo le fe e chake ni bi pi your life ni. Your music kele. Yo to be ni nyami ye la kind.
Yeah, I think you also said
the same thing
that it has impacted your life, and you gave a shout out to a good
friend of yours,
Awo, who has also, been instrumental in the transformation.
Exactly.
Right. So aside music, during Homowo, what else do you do?
We are businessmen.
No, I mean the traditional setting. Nyefe lala, meaning nyefe like.
Yeah, Homowo me.
Yes.
Oh, kwa ona asafo achemejo. Otula tun wa bo le ka ya asaf ay Homowo bo la ke asafo tun le. Asana ke shake mana na ke we bi efe mi ni. Mancheme we mancheme to ame. Am tun tumo ni mancheme ke am ba tun. Won sa ga hun. Nko ko afi na Homowo eji Homowo ko ni. Wa ni ga efe fale wa den che.
This coming one.
Exactly.
How do you intend to balance music and then the Asafua chair duties?
Music is we understand music. So anyhow we will fit take up.
what do you also have to say about
And I'll just say that we have the hobby of doing music and at the same time to have crowned us. So when it's time for this festival like this, we participate as they want us to do.
Yeah.
So we know how to balance ourselves.
I see. I'm curious. I want to know why do you shoot the guns when the chiefs are coming or the kings are coming?
To alert people that the kings are coming.
So anytime we hear a gunshot, it means a king is coming.
Exactly.
You don't shoot it anyhow.
No.
I see. And are there some spiritual backings to the shooting of the guns, or any person can just pick the gun and shoot?
Any person cannot just pick a gun and shoot. Like let me say, if you're not the member of ASAP, you can't shoot gun. Yeah, because it's something like you have been trained. You see, so if maybe you don't know how to shoot gun, so it's not any person that has to shoot gun.
I see. And from the video, that Accra Day, I saw some of you in green leaves. You had green leaves on your necks and other things. What's the significance? Is that some form of?
You see,
that's what called Nyanyina. Yeah.
Even our king, down Manche. You can see something when you dress, you see that thing. And that thing normally sometimes it protects you from evil eyes.
Yeah, okay.
You see. So it's not life. I will like a
I see.
I will like purposely.
I see. If you just joined us, we've been having a conversation with Accra Boys and their musicians who will be performing at the upcoming Homowo Festival, which is happening tomorrow and Saturday, specifically at Gamashi. And Clock TV will also be there to give you all the live coverage and everything you need to know. You can join the conversation by sending in your WhatsApp messages to our WhatsApp number and also via our Facebook platform, and we'll gladly read all your messages. You can also call in. I think the phone lines will be open along the line, and you can get the opportunity to call in and tell us what you feel. We need to see or hear from you, the vibrancy at which we are all waiting or anticipating for the Homowo Festival. So you can do that via our call line. Accra Boys,
do
you have any collaborations in mind towards the Homowo Festival? Are you going to collaborate with some musicians?
Oh, a lot.
To perform?
A lot. We are performing with King Jerry, Nifani, Kote Anoda, Adani Best. You see, there are a lot. We have a lot of show there.
Yeah.
So we are performing with a lot of musicians.
I see. And when should we watch out for your show? Is it Friday or Saturday?
Friday? No, we are coming there on Friday, Saturday.
Saturday?
Yeah.
Morning, afternoon, or evening?
But we are there from Friday, but we won't perform.
You only perform on Saturday. At what time?
Okay, let me see, in the evening time.
Evening.
Yeah.
So you have something like a jams or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Now, let's go back to your music. I want to know what inspires you to bring up such music, your music. I know that it's not only Accra Day you've performed.
We have a lot.
You have a lot of music. Can you name them, like some of the music, and also tell us the inspiration behind them?
We have Shishishi.
Shishishi.
We have Banku. Shishishi is Accra is hot. You understand? And we have Banku. Banku stands for the beautiful ladies. You understand? Okay. And this is Accra Day.
Wow.
Accra Day goes like, we want to tell all Ghanaians and the world that we are from Accra.
Yeah.
We have a couple of musicians from Kumasi. When they come to Accra, they come and make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
So we want them to know, say we are in Accra.
Exactly.
Before you do anything in Ghana, so you come to Accra.
Maybe when you want to go to America, you
come to Accra.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. So that's the message across Accra we did.
I think it goes to the thing that Game Ashipon.
Game Anoni.
Exactly.
You understand?
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
It is very interesting. I have to commend you for the Accra Day video. It has, a beautiful picture quality.
Thank you.
Around everything. It's like, that standard.
Standard.
Yeah. Is that how all your musics are, or it's just this particular?
No, all of them.
Wow.
All of them, but whenever you start something,
you have to
in the initial, you don't get it quality like you keep on doing. You see, so from our beginning, we have music, we have videos, but it's not quality like this one.
Standard like this one.
It's not standard like this one, But they are that time too. I mean, raining.
So any song you perform or you produce after this one would also meet a bigger standard, right?
Yes, please.
Right. So I've just been alerted that we have a song from Accra Boys that we would like to have a view of. Let's take a look. Be right back.
Hey, amedramoji kwa sheko, amedramoji kwa leloko, amedramoji kwa feloko, newa amehaweko, amedramoji kwa sheko, amedramoji kwa leloko, amedramoji kwa feloko, newa amehaweko, amechua waso, amehawo nyenyeko waye, Rasta, waye.
Mina go show chata, obo mi fe me papa, enyelo hie pata mana bad papa, mi lobby choba mana bad papa, asuma bompata fo maka, ekabo ngo keke, ekabo hie keke, ekabo nyami shege prango kabo pete, eda ye, hey, ayenke, hey, abeno kuna betolo kutuku mi fade, mene papa residente, open me son, you dey see the boy, hey, Jehovah domo na waye wata wagoy. Zize, ametuoso, yamena wonye kuwaye, ametuoso, yamena wonye kuwaye, ametuoso, yamena wonye kuwaye, ametuoso, yamena wonye kuwaye.
How you did, brother? Now you did right, Okada. Oh, yeah, good bro. Now what's the man? I'm a father. No, see the table, don't say game over. Check the range, I'm far gone. Me munda da. What don't work cash? I will gear, will be a da. I don't want that. John, see when you share, na ye autobiography, no big Honda. Chema boto moya way, I must say formula. Quick loan for the prepaid, no agenda. No PC, no data, no come the wo. Unyan credit roll, yes, it can draw. Why? Boss slow.
Wow. Just as I said, you guys, when it comes to music production, you are up there. Because this was also a masterpiece, I must say. What's the meaning? I heard Amechuo was song.
And the same way, they know they give you.
Which people?
They know themselves.
the big men.
Yeah, they know themselves.
You see, when they get ona ama bi na ke ona keshin ona ka ke ametuo wo so na me ha woni ni ekunu woji. It doesn't mean say avia ka ametuo wo so me ha woni ni they didn't give us food to eat. No.
Give us the literal meaning.
Ne it's ke amena ameso amejo amehani ame followers ame say bi gbeke bi mbo ba wonna benige ne yo ake anyami imba pipeline no ba ma feature bu ni bon bon anna boni walibu ona ni sike ba la kai ka me son no ka me yo ka me tun wo son na me ha woni ni ko wo ha me fan say son
it's not only into the music but across you understand. Yeah.
And the message is very clear. I mean, we are in a society where people use, people, and they don't give them anything.
Yeah.
No opportunities, no, nothing. Some don't even acknowledge what you did for them.
Always they want you to be yes, the master, under them. You see, they always want to they don't want you to get there.
Yeah.
Even it's everywhere. You work here yourself, I can say that.
Oh, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So the message
is clear. Particular where you are showing we across.
Wow. I have to commend you for the kind of messages you put across in your music, and it is really going far. But before we wrap up, let me ask you, during festivals like Homo, how do you say the audience receive your music? Because from my perspective, I have just fallen in love with your songs, right? Because of the messages. But do you realize any change of energy when it comes to performance, audience, and other things when you're on stage? Do you see that the audience are charged? You know, that kind of vibe. Do you see that during...
They vibe with us.
You know what? And actually,
we should come and see you on Saturday.
As an over show. Well, I remember once, like way back, we went for some interview, and it's like we were vibing, and they asked the same question as you asked, and I told them that what in you know, I can't show. So they hear the music.
Yeah.
They should try and come and view, or come and watch, or come and support, and see what Accra Boys can give them.
Wow.
But they know.
I see. Okay. So what final message do you have for people watching us in terms of the Homowo celebration and also traditional music or cultural music? What advice do you have to tell our viewers?
Oh, viewers, Yelenoko. Inyeme trash ye bi na Accra Boys ojegan. Ni ganga mano ni anokwale.
Ganjigan.
Won to nyeli ake kenyi na we bi ene won fefe yenyi wo. Kenyi na we bi ene won fefe yenyi wo. Nyon ye support, ye pa support wo. No we ya nwen, no nye care man bi no ni sa. Ke no ni asana me fi awo. Of your music or ha message. Ni baby hu o han man bi ele ake. Like, for me, no being sunny, Nakai. As I want to like, none of it, I won't provide. She can't support you, we can't go far.
She can't affine on my wall. Once money, I yell, he jolly me. Ye mean share me. A cafe giddy. Was small 1 tree. And what now near a mean share because it told I fear. No, what be share. I can buy your more. I mean, why ye mean share me. Was small giddy.
Wow.
To be no feel fale. What keep on what fale. We should let Accra be like America.
Yeah.
That's all.
Wow. The message is clear, and let me just do my short translation. So all we're trying to say is they are here to represent the Ga people, the Ga land, and they've put in a lot of energy and effort in their music production. And so if you don't support them, the music will not go far. And so Saturday, they are calling on every single person to come out in their numbers to support them as we celebrate the festival. And his brother also added that they want a peaceful and, you know, a very serene atmosphere during the Homowo celebration, in as much as we are celebrating Homowo. We need peace. And so he's advocating for that. And he said we've suffered a lot in the year and it is time for us to have our celebration. And so we don't call for any, you know, misunderstanding, any controversies, and, you know, anything that will bring unrest to the celebration. All we want is peace during the Homowo festival. And they've promised us to give us a freestyle right after the birthday segment. And we'll be taking that freestyle from him pretty soon. But before that, the birthday segment is up. Let's take this quick break. We'll be right back.
I heard today was your birthday. I heard today was your birthday.
Okay, so let's get straight into the birthday. And this is from Mimi Clock TV. Okay, myself, I'm wishing Ajua Mrekua a happiest birthday to you. And I'm saying thank you for all the support and encouragement you have shown me. Enjoy your special day. Ajua Mrekua of Atenka TV. That is from Abna Buabing, and she is wishing Ajua Rose a happy birthday. She says, a happy birthday, dear. May our God continue to bless you in everything your hand finds to do. Thank you so much. This is from me again to Ernest, and I'm saying glorious birthday to you, Ernest. May you have a wonderful year ahead and many more. And this is also from Irabna to Reggie, and she's saying happy birthday to my sister Reggie. God bless your new age and endeavors in life. Cheers to life. This is also from, okay, there's no name, but it's to Catherine Ampofo. She works at Nestle Ghana and is saying, may God shower you with blessings today and always. I am so blessed to have a friend like you. I hope all your birthday wishes come through. This is from Mrs. Perpetua Asante, and it is to Pastor Kweku Owusu Jr. Wishing you a blessed and joyful birthday, Pastor Kweku Owusu Jr. May your life be filled with happiness and spiritual fulfillment. This is also from Na Amankwa Evelyn to Madam Agnes Mocho Papo. And she's saying, happy birthday to my grandma, Madam Agnes Mocho Papo. I wish you many more years with strength and good health. Happy 78th birthday. And this is from HB Group to Mrs. Philomena Boatsima Osei. We would like to thank God for another +1 year to you. May the sovereign God keep sustaining, blessing, and strengthening you to see the wonderful things unfolding with and in the HB Group and yours. We love you like the love. Okay, we missed that. And this is also from Sonia to her friend, and she's saying, glorious birthday, girlfriend. God bless your good and kind heart. You are amazing. Your personality is rare. I admire and appreciate the depth of your spirituality. Silver Jubilee looks nice on you. I look forward to an amazing friendship journey ahead. And we have a video, a birthday message here. And blueprints of the Christ life. A man sent on a mission to spread the word to the world. A huge blessing to this generation. A man full of wisdom and godly insight. Happy 70th birthday. And this is from Winners Chapel, Ghana. We also have this, good morning, Mimi. Please wish my husband, Mr. Daniel Nelson Day, a glorious 60th birthday. And this is from Mrs. Faustina Avotri Day. And this is all we have for the birthday segment here on the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. And we are going to take our freestyle from Accra Voice. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Gamamu fire boa. Mami, Gamami, Miami, Bukuemi, Womba, Accra we day. Mami, Gamami, Miami, Bukuemi, Womba, Accra we day. Jinjin gang Yabeja, yes say Accra we day. Who won't cry, won't think crying. Bosu, Accra we day. Namo Megui Ameda, Nejia Ponya Beshe, Namo Megba Kada, Bele Hale Nunegbala, Nebeho Ninegola, Nebele Aminimatona, Nebanu Kanula, Woba, Ofecheme, Chencheme, Yebashi, Munazua Kamaderi, Sua Sukache Mumbeki, Asa, Cobra, he day where we day. Insurance, cover, everywhere we day. Choke. Yeah. Hustler gang is in here for the 6 days. Salute you. For a few days. Kobanfu. Kwakupon Talanku. No matter how lyrical you get, you know go feel win for back. Black raw skills, we all work. Smash the hate out of my mind. Accra with this, son. Womba. Womba, Accra we day. Miami, Bukuemi, Womba, Accra we day. Shame Hawaku, Waye, ye. I'm a 2 or son, Shame Hawaku, ye.
I'm a domoji wa seko. I'm a domoji wa fenoko.
And that was a very nice freestyle from Accra Boys. And you can expect this and many more on Saturday at Gamashi, because they are bringing you nothing but exciting content on the grounds of Gamashi. This is where we end the lifestyle segment here on the Koko Digest Morning Show. My name is Miriam Abna Adede, and we are crossing over to Clementia Bankwe to take us into the world of business. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Clog TV. Be a policy.
I just want to take a moment and thank everyone in law enforcement who helped us in the search for our beloved daughter.
There's no point hiding things from me.
You're psychic?
No, just paying attention. I've been watching you and your husband. I understand what you're feeling right now.
You have no idea.
I do. I know. Did you kill your daughter? How dare you? Did you kill your daughter? Jude, please. Honestly, it's not as bad as it looks.
Classic Red John smiley face. Drawn in the victim's blood. Gloves with 3 fingers of his right hand.
This isn't Red John. In all the previous killings, he made sure that the first thing that anyone sees is the face on the wall. Then, and only then, do you see the body of the victim.
Tell you what happened. You send the mix.
Join me, Oliver Beverly, and Edna Watson on Old School Ride. Let's get interactive and get to know our old legends. Showing this on every Friday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and repeat on Saturdays at 3 to 4 p.m. on Clock TV. Old School Ride. Let's vibe with the legend.
I need my gun, Kane. I need the gun.
You have the gun.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pilot has switched on and fastened the seatbelt sign. Please return to your seat and button your seat.
We must have been at about
growth rates. The overall data of 2024, the industrial sector led with the growth rate of 6.8%. Despite these positive economic indicators, the reports highlighted unreliable evidence from Afrobarometer surveys conducted in the first quarter of 2024, which revealed increasing hardship due to the rising food prices, soaring transportation fares, and higher cost of cement.
By the end of 2024, during a town hall meeting in Accra, he emphasized the Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration effort to manage inflation despite economic challenges, noting that the current government has significantly reduced inflation rates since taking office in 2017. However, Dr. Amin pointed out that the Russian-Ukraine war led to a global surge in inflation.
15 was 17.7%. In 2016, it came to 15.4%. 17.7 in 2015, 15.4 in 2016. In 2027, when we took government, inflation came down further to 11.8%. The year after, 2018, it became a single-digit inflation. Single-digit inflation in 2018 at 9.4%. Again, in 2019, we had a single-digit inflation of 7.9%. 2 consecutive years, the longest period a government has recorded a single-digit inflation. 2 consecutive years. We have had single-digit inflations in the past. But 2 consecutive years, 24 months of a single-digit inflation was historic. Now, when the Russia-Ukraine war happened, again, as I said, we saw global inflation going up. And ours was also negatively affected. In fact, inflation went to up to about 54% in 2022. But again, see the effort we have put into managing inflation in Ghana. In June this year, in 17-18 months, we have brought inflation down from 54% to 22%. In 17 months, we have more than half 10%.
In our third story, the Cocoa Processing Company Limited, a state-owned entity, has faced deepening financial woes, with its losses surging 4.5% in the first half of 2024 to $9.5 million United States dollars. The increase in losses is primarily due to escalating operational costs, particularly in selling, distribution, and financial expenses. Additionally, CP's total revenue declined by 8.2%, and its production significantly dropped during the period. To address these challenges, CPC has secured a commitment from the Cocoa Board to continue supplying cocoa beans and has implemented various measures, including cost-cutting, infrastructure and machinery investment, and revenue-based expansion. Additionally, CPC is in discussion with the African Export-Import Bank to secure an $86.7 million United States dollars loan facility to settle outstanding amounts, support working capital, and upgrade its facility to boost production capacity. To end with, the Ghanaian government has made significant progress in implementing the International Monetary Fund (IMF) program, according to the...
We started with the domestic debt exchange program. It was a very successful program, achieving 95% participation. And on this note, I would like to appeal to the people of Ghana to forgive us. It is never the intention of any government to impose hardships on its people. It was a necessary, very important decision at the time that if we avoided it, our economy will not recover such as it has recovered today.
My gun.
Where are you?
I got a 1013. A Vic near Center Street.
Live.
I just haven't been able to prove it yet.
I've never met the smart, dangerous, very bad man. I'd kind of like an introduction.
I run a legitimate business enterprise.
And my job is to catch scumbags. There's no doubt in my mind, I know what you are.
Extraordinary accusations call for extraordinary evidence, Detective. Prove it.
I will. Eli, get inside. Get inside.
We can nail this son of a bitch who did this to your family.
I was a damn good cop 12 years ago. I'm a better cop now.
Okay.
Being an assembly member, the King Kanwe is where the chiefs come from. The Osu Russell King Kanwe is a royal name.
Okay.
But there's some kind of unrest in Osu for the past years. We've not had a substantive chief. So as an assembly member, coming from the same place, I thought after football, that brings people together. What can we do else that can foster unity in our people? So the duku that my brother is putting on, the significance and the importance is you need the 10 fingers and the 2 hands to put on your duku. We have issues with our chieftaincy.
Yes.
We are praying that very soon every area should have one substantive to bring peace, unity, and progress as well.
Okay. What about you, Crispin? What are some of your expectations?
So like you rightfully said, the focus is on unity and progress in the Gadangme land. We wish that we wake up on
8th of September. It runs through. So we want everyone to come, and we are election here.
We'll be seeing you very, very soon. Yes.
Thank you
All right.
for the opportunity.
So, as you heard, Homowo in Osu is starting this Sunday. And of course, in Gamashi, it is tomorrow. So, we are already in the Homowo season. So, whichever Homowo celebration you can pass through, please make it a point to pass through. Now, up next, we have the main discussion, but let's take a very nice song. And then after that, we will have the discussion on fire safety and prevention.
For these fires to occur, and incidents do occur frequently. But there is always a way to prevent it from occurring. And one major way of doing that is through education, of which we do regularly. And we always talk to data. So the data will indicate to us which of the aspects of our job needs a lot more education. Then we put in more effort into that area. So we don't just stand up and go out there to educate. It is done based on the
things. So sometimes it leads to an outbreak, especially in the dry season. Can you speak on that a little more?
So we have what we call clearing of bush. And the clearing of bush could be for agricultural purposes, or for rearing, or just clearing purposes. So depending on what you want to use the land for, then one will set the bush on fire. However, we have what we call bushfire prevention volunteers. These are basically in our rural settings, whom we have given special training. And so if you want to do it in the rural settings, because they are available, you get in touch with them, they will come and show you or stand by to support you do your burning. If it is in the urban settings, then you get in touch with us, we will support you in doing that. So we have various ways by which people do clear the land areas. Simply because my backyard is bushy. I want to clear it. Instead of me to get somebody to clear it for me, I just set fire to it and it gets out of hand. And once it gets out of hand, any fire that is uncontrolled is a fire. We have controlled fires and we have uncontrolled fires. So if it gets out of hand, that is where you have to call us in to come and assist. And so we record a lot more bushfires in our urban communities than in the rural setting. But you see, we live in an environment where we have what we call ecosystem. The ecosystem must be balanced. So God did not create the bush for nothing. Certain species of plants and animals are in there that supports human existence. So if we say we are burning just for burning's sake because we have to clear the bush, then it means we are creating imbalances in the system. And a time will come that the environment cannot support human lives because other things that must go to support human habitation on earth has been consumed by fire. And that is why we must be very careful not to set fires rampantly, because we have to clear the bushes around.
Okay, so before we go to safety measures at home, I want to remind you, my cherished viewers, that we are live on Facebook and on YouTube. Our WhatsApp number is also displayed on your screen. You can also call in to ask your questions, send your question in your mind. So yes, let's talk about fire safety in the home. What are some of the common causes of fires at home, and what are some of the preventive or safety curative measures that we can take?
So the two leading causes of fires in our domestic settings are electrical, and then, okay, I'll make it three.
Okay.
Inappropriate handling of naked lights, as well as misuse or improper use of gas. When we talk about electricity, you know, electricity is very good that assists us or help us in our daily living in our homes. But the appropriate use of electricity is what is important. It is not just about acquiring the electricity. How then do you use the electricity? So there are certain gadgets that when you go to every home you will find. You will find radio, television, fan, DVD or home theater. These are very good, but they are meant to be used only when you are home. So if you are stepping out, all such items are to be turned off. Not just turning them off, but switch off from the plug and unplugging. Be able to identify that there is a fault on the switch. Until there is maybe power outage and the power is restored. When power is restored, mostly they come at a higher voltage than normal. Then if there is enough current that can go through, there is slight excess current flowing, that will start a fire. And so air condition, if you are not home, please don't say the weather is hot. And so you want to, exactly, before you come back. By the time you come, it might be too late. So for air conditioning, we advise seriously that if you are stepping out, just turn off your air conditioning. When you come, it will not take more than 5 minutes for your room to come back to the cold weather you want.
Let's come to the LPG and then the naked lights, the charcoal fires.
So with the LPG, what we have realized is that people don't know how to handle the LPG. So from the point of filling your cylinder around, if you fill it to the brim, there is no space for the particles to breathe. That is how we put it. So the particles cannot breathe. Now, after you have done that and you are transporting the cylinder home, if your means of transport can afford, let the cylinder stand upright. If it cannot and it has to lie, you let it lie. But when you get home, don't immediately put it to use. Let it stand and settle. Like I said, this is a pressurized gas that has been compressed into the cylinder. So the least opportunity, it can explode or escape. So you need to ensure that it is settled. Once it is settled, the pressure becomes, you have to do it so is. You see, when you turn it off from the cylinder, we have to also take very good care of.
So yes, what about the charcoal fires? Because now LPG is quite expensive and people are seemingly resorting to going back to charcoal fires. So
if you want to go back to the use of charcoal fires, which I will not advise, even though there are specific type of food that you want to cook, you have to definitely go back to the charcoal fire. But if you want to do that, there is an appropriate means of doing that. Normally, it is not about the usage, but it is after using the charcoal for whatever you want to do and how to extinguish the charcoal fire. People just drop the charcoal with the fire on the floor and pour water on it. That is good, but you need to turn the charcoal over to ensure that every fire in the charcoal is off. And then there are embers, which is mixed with the ash. Ensure that that one is also extinguished. Because if you don't do that, and especially when we are in the dry season, there is a wind that will blow the ember away. Wherever they land, they start a fire.
Yes.
So nobody, you will see that people will say, but there was no fire here. How come that the fire was able to start? It is because you didn't extinguish your fire, your charcoal fire well.
So you mentioned that in
properly done, and it will not result in
position on how smokers and people who tend to work with fire also contribute to fire outbreaks. So
for smokers, we advise that always keep a tray where you put the cigarette butt in it. Yes. Because mostly they finish and they just throw it anywhere. And during the dry season, they create a lot of problems for us. It is, you would think that you are creating the problem for the fire service. It's not for the fire service. You are creating for the whole of the environment, because we are destroying the environment, as I indicated earlier on. So the appropriate means of smoking is that you always get a tray where you put your butts in and you appropriately dispose of it. For if you are in your home, make sure if you are smoking, you don't smoke whilst you feel sleepy or you are in bed. If you do so, you doze off. Yes. Whilst you are still handling the smoke, the cigarette. Yeah. When you doze off, it will fall off from your hand. And if you are unfortunately sitting in a chair like we are sitting in, this is a highly combustible material. Okay. Unfortunately, when this one is burning, it doesn't give off flames.
TV, beyond the policy.
Right. So, because fires can occur anywhere and everywhere, in premises as we are now, you can put in materials that should there be any fire, the rate of transmission will be slowed down. So we have what we call fire-resistant doors. Okay. So that, for instance, if there is a fire outside this premises, it will not be able to transfer to this place. So the function of that fire-resistant material is to slow down the rate of transmission of fire. Basically, that is it. So we have what we call fire blankets. Okay. And that one is mostly used in the kitchen. So that if, for example, you are cooking and the pan catches fire, you can easily use the fire blanket to cover the pan, so that the fire cannot transfer from the pan to other places.
I remember seeing a few educative, fire outbreak safety measures that they said you can even wet a blanket when you have a gas fire and then put it on it so that how effective is that?
So it is very effective. That is a local or traditional way of going about it.
Okay. So there's also information, if you can give us a little information on sprinkler systems. What's the difference between sprinkler systems and then the smoke detectors? And which one is
rules? The sprinkler system is a water head that is fitted mostly in the ceiling of your apartment, so that they also operate on the basis of heat.
Okay.
But they can be manual and they can be automatic.
Okay.
So as soon as they pick the automatic ones, they will pick the heat. Once they pick the heat, the water heads are broken. Then they start sprinkling the water in the premises. So the heads are fitted in such a way that they overlap each other. So that there wouldn't be any area in the premises that water or whatever extinguishing media that it is bringing out will not cover. So they are arranged in such a way that they overlap. So if this one comes to this level, this one will overlap it, so that the whole place can take part of the extinguishing media. So if you ask me, it is water heads or whatever head that is fitted. If it is a powder head that is fitted up there, yes. But mostly it has to do with liquid, which is water. But alarms separate from the detectors. They go hand in hand. So the smoke detector performs the same function as detecting and sounding an alarm. Now we have proper alarm systems. Those alarm systems may not necessarily be fire alarm, but general alarm that they will sound in the company, indicating that there is something wrong, there is an emergency. Therefore, everybody should. We have various types of extinguishers. In the same way, we have various types of fires. That is why we have various types of extinguishers occurred. That is why you don't just go to the market and buy. You need to get somebody, a firefighter, to come to your aid, to assist you, make an assessment of your premises, and then tell you what type of extinguisher you need. So the one in front of me, as I said, is a carbon dioxide extinguisher. Now, this type of extinguisher is used for Class C fires. So when we say when we say Class C fires, they are fires involving gases. So, for example, we have spoken about LPG gas this morning. So, in the kitchen, it is appropriate for use in the kitchen.
I was also even going to ask that apparently there are certain fires that cannot be put out.
Okay, let me start. So that is the basics. So we have types of fires. We have Class A fires. Class A fires involve solid materials that are on fire. We call them Class A fires. We have Class B fires. Those are liquid fires. So petroleum products, when they are on fire, it is called Class B fires. Then we have Class C fires, which is gaseous fires. We have Class D fires, which is metallic materials when they are on fire. So we have other types, but in Ghana, we have adopted only these four. And any of the others can fit into the four classifications that we have.
I was about to ask, let's say, chemical, these industries, but it falls under the gaseous fires.
So each of these also have its unique fire extinguishing media. So, for example, we have the powder extinguisher or water extinguisher that is used for Class A fires. We have Class B fire, which is the liquid. And that one, what we use is called the foam concentrate or foam solution. That is used to extinguish a Class B fire. Then Class C fire, you can either use the CO2, which is in front of me, or a powder extinguisher, which we have one here, but because of space, so it can deal with that. And then we have the Class D fire, which is mostly dealt with by the powder extinguisher to use it for. If you come to the fire service, we tell you which one to go to the market and buy. So that is it. Now, coming to the parts of the fire extinguisher. Every fire extinguisher has parts.
Sorry, before you come to the parts, what fire extinguisher then do the motorists require? Because I usually see a very small type in their cars. Which one is that?
It is good that you are bringing this up. You see, that type of extinguisher is not good for our environment. The reason is it contains a chemical. Now, because we have two extreme weathers, very hot weather and sometimes very cold weather. It tends to disintegrate the composition of the content of that extinguisher. So you realize that a time will come that you have an emergency. Instead of that extinguisher to extinguish the fire, it is rather helping the fire to flame more. It means the content has been decomposed. It has expired. Not
Well, I think it's also because of the size of the vehicle. Because having something like this in your car, where would you put it? To be in the boot, it may take too much space. So I think the design was to try to make it a little portable.
So you see, it is about doing what is appropriate.
Yes, that's true.
If you have that one in your vehicle and there's a fire in the vehicle and you cannot deal with it, why did you put it there? Is it because the police will arrest you?
Well, there's that too.
So we have smaller extinguishers, about half of this.
Okay, so this one.
That's saloon cars.
Okay.
We recommend for saloon vehicles.
Okay.
And that is the type that you need to get.
Okay.
I am not here to destroy anybody's business, but the right thing must be done. After all, you spent money in buying your vehicle. Therefore, you must spend a little more in getting the appropriate fire extinguisher on your vehicle, so that when the unfortunate happens, you'll be able to deal with the situation.
So let's go to the parts now.
So, excuse me. This fire extinguisher is called the CO2, as I've indicated, but it has a head assemble. All this part is called the head assemble. Now the head assemble has a unit called the handle. The down part here is called the handle, and then the top part here is called the trigger or the lever. Now, before you can operate, so we also have this one here. This one, because it is carbon dioxide, it is called a horn. Other extinguishers have what we call the.
Let's take a quick break so that you can get yourself. Oh, it's open.
That anyone sees is the face on the wall. Then, and only then, do you see the body of the victim.
Clog TV, Beyond the Policy.
Thank you for tuning in. The Cocoa Digest Morning Show. And we're having our main discussion. We're talking about fire safety and preventive measures for an outbreak. And we were discussing the fire extinguisher and its parts. So please don't forget to send in your comments, call our call number, and send your WhatsApp messages to our WhatsApp numbers displayed on your screen, and we'll read them out here. Any questions you have will be answered by our guests. So let's continue. Yes, you were showing us the parts.
Like I indicated, we have this head assemble.
Okay.
That contains the handle, the lever or the trigger, and then the pin.
Okay.
This is called a pin. And the pin here, the purpose of it is to prevent accidental operation.
Okay.
You see, if you are lifting this, you hold it this way and lift. So if this pin is not there, by the time you finish lifting it, you have operated it. And so the pin is to serve as to prevent accidental operation. Now we also have the tube or the horn. In this case, it is called the horn. So, and then the cylinder, which contains the contents of the extinguisher. If you want to operate a fire extinguisher, we have an acronym for it to make it very easy for use. And the acronym is PASS.
Okay.
P-A-S-S. So the P, first P, or the P stands for pull the pin. Like I indicated, there is a pin here. Yeah. So you pull the pin. When you pull the pin, then you hold it this way. Don't press because you have removed the pin. If you press, the content will come out. Okay. Then the A is aim. So you hold either the tube or the horn, in this case, and aim it at the base of the fire. Okay. Now, when a substance is burning, you see the flames up there. It's not the flames you are extinguishing. It is whatever is on fire that you are extinguishing. So if it is this table that is burning, you aim at the table here. Yes. Okay. You don't aim at the flames that is burning. You will not achieve your aim. So aim at the base of the fire. Then the first S is suppress, deliver. If you press it down, the content will start coming out. Then the last S is sweep. It means you move it to and fro, and then the fire is off for you. So that is how we operate a fire extinguisher. Maybe the next time we have to demonstrate. Step out there, do the demonstration, and then we'll play it back for people to see how it is done. Now, it is important to do a demonstration because, especially this type of extinguisher, when you are operating, they give off a loud sound. Okay. And if you have not done it before, you will leave the extinguisher and run away. And therefore, it is important that you try your hands on so that when the real event happens, you know how to go about it.
Thank you so much. Let us see if we remember. So we have pass, that is to pull the pin.
Sure.
Aim your horn or the tube. Then to suppress, which is to press the lever. And then to sweep, which means to, sweep the horn, your aim, And the aim is to make sure you're aiming at what is on fire and not the flames. So please remember to do that. And so yes, thank you so much for teaching us. I'm sure we'll have you back to do a demonstration for Club TV, and then we'll play it out there for our visitors, our viewers as well. So is there an expiry date for fire extinguishers? Right.
So every thing that has been manufactured has an expiring date.
Okay.
But that is technical. So I'm going to do or teach what we need to know. What we need to know is that if you have an extinguisher like this, every half a year it must be inspected. Okay. And so you get in touch with either the fire service, or we have private people that have been registered who can also do that. We call them service providers. So this service provided or the fire service itself can help you to do the inspection. Then once in a year, you have to service it. Servicing means you have to, if it is powder, you bring the content out. Okay. You see, because it is powder, and like I indicated, because of our weather, the powder normally cakes in there. Okay. And so if you don't bring it out to check, and maybe to replace the content, the time will come that you want to use it, and because it is cake, it will not come out. Okay. So it will not serve the purpose. Okay. So every half a year, you inspect, and then every year you service. Okay. That is what we need to know.
Okay. So let's talk about evacuation and escape plans. The only thing I remember is the stop, drop, and roll under the smoke or something. So please educate us a little on that when we wrap up.
So when it comes to evacuation plan, it is just a drawing of your premises, indicating exit points that should there be any emergency, you can use to exit your premises. Now, this thing should be done before the family, for everybody to know, so that if you are not there, the children will also be able to escape when the eventuality should happen. And so it is very, very important if we want our safety, or if we want to be able to escape safely to a safer place, then we need to go through the evacuation plan and drill. It's not only the plan. You have to put it into practice, and that is what is called the drill. So it is good to get the evacuation plan. It is also very important to implement this plan so that it will serve its purpose. Now, in coming out with the plan, you have to get a sketch of your whole premises. That will indicate to everybody if it is here. Every floor must have its plan. So that here being the upper floor will have its own plan where to escape. And in doing that, you must have at least two ways of exiting the premises. So if you have a plan that has just one exit, then it is not appropriate. What if the exit is where the emergency started? Where are you going to use to exit?
The window.
So assuming we are on this last floor and we have just one exit and the exit is blocked, where do we use? Because you can't jump down, even though you have windows here. So you must have alternate exit points. So if you are doing the evacuation plan, these are the things you look at. But if it is just a single building, that one, we can advise that if you don't have another exit, you can use the window. Even though under normal circumstances, it is not an exit. But if it can serve the purpose, we can allow that to happen. That is why we advise that if you think that thieves are disturbing you and therefore you want to construct burglar-proof, you don't burglar-proof yourself when you don't have a place to pass. It is better to allow the thief to come for some of your things than you losing your life. So when you are doing it, we are not saying don't do it, because it is also not easy. Seeing all your properties being carried away by somebody who come to you as a visitor in the night. So there is one form that is can be open and closed. We call it the adjustable type of burglar-proof. You can adopt that one, just that one is expensive than the normal ones that we have been fixing. The fixed one is cheaper, but it comes at a cost, your life. That cost you can't pay. So it is important that you go for the one that is adjustable. That one you have your escape through either the window or the alternate door. That is what we advise.
So let's talk about a more practical plan to evacuate. So let's say there's a fire here. What are we supposed to do? Do we just run helter-skelter, or we do the stop, drop, and roll, or cover our nose?
So the stop, drop, and roll is when your cloth is on fire. That is when you do stop, drop, and roll. It is not an evacuation, part of evacuation.
I understand. Some of us, let me use myself. I thought because the smoke tends to come and sit up, then so being under, you just roll.
So that one you don't drop.
Oh, okay.
And you don't roll.
Okay.
So let's use here as a typical example. If there is an emergency here, it can be fire. It can be, let's say, earthquake or whatever, and we need to exit. Supposing there is an earthquake or a fire, and it starts from this door, you have alternate exits, so we can move through there. What do? That is why you have to go through the simulation, where the firefighter will show you how to exit. So, for example, are there equipment here that are so crucial for us? If yes, then we must at all times assign someone to ensure the safety of that equipment. And that equipment must be secured only if the person is also secured. You don't do that at the expense of your life. For example, we have MCR just across. Can they shut the machines? If they can, who is to shut the machines? Those are the things we do before we exit. But in all this, we look at the safety of the person. If it is safe to do so, then you do that. If it is not safe, just exit. After all, we can buy all those things again. But when you lose your life, we cannot buy you again, and you be trapped. Now, if there is any one with physical disability, we must get somebody whose responsibility it is to help the person to exit. So this is why we need to plan even before the emergency occurs. Because if you don't plan, all these people, you will not be able to make provision for them. So you make provision for everyone. If it is a kid, if it is an adult, an old man, an old lady that needs help, who is supposed to help that person? So you put all of this on paper and practice it so that in the event that it really occurs, then you are aware of what to do. So these are the things that we consider when it comes to putting in place an evacuation plan.
Okay, so does all this apply to the home too?
Yes, every premises, wherever you have human beings.
So,
it even applies in the farm.
Okay, so we have a few questions here. This one is from Rose Entertainment. Says, "Sir, please, can you share some enlightenment of fire outbreak at the workplace?" And then we have, which fire extinguishers makes for the best kitchen fire extinguisher? And so we'll take them one by one, but let me read them all. So Rose Entertainment again says, households with neglected or inappropriate wiring are more prone to fire incidents. Thank you, sir, for your education. That's from Rose Entertainment. And then Ibrahim Abu Junaid says, very educative. And then Rose Entertainment again says, if someone is on fire and they stop, drop and roll, will it really put out the flames?
Yes, it will stop the flames. You don't need to just do a 110 and the fire will go off. No, you turn until the fire goes off. Okay. So if this is the space that you have, if you roll to that end and the fire has not gone off, you roll back until the fire goes off. Okay,
so the other question, the first one, it says, can you share some enlightenment on fire outbreak at the workplace?
So like we have indicated just now, when a fire occurs in the workplace, whoever observes the fire first will have to sound an alarm, alerting other occupants that there is an incident here. Then if the whatever means that the company has, if it is a bell, if it is an alarm, that alarm is sounded for everybody to move out of the premises. But like I indicated, who is to do what? Don't think that someone has already called the fire service. There should be responsibilities assigned so that there will be someone whose responsibility it is to call the fire service, whose responsibility to ensure there is a head count so that we don't leave anyone in the premises. Because when the fire service arrives, our first responsibility is any lives that are involved. So if someone is trapped, it is our responsibility to ensure that that life is brought out first before we can do other things. So there is a responsibility for someone to do that. Like I indicated, if there are any equipments to be shut, whose responsibility it is to do that. So all those things are done, and they are planned before the fires occur. Okay. So in the event of a fire in a workplace, one is whoever observes the incident must sound an alarm for everybody to hear. And then if the facility has a proper alarm system, that alarm system is sounded for everybody to exit the premises. Now, as you are exiting, if you have open windows and it is safe to do that, someone must be responsible for that, to shut in all the windows behind. A lot of the times, before we get there, because we have trained people, they've been able to handle the situation before we get there. Okay. And it is advisable that every institution, not only institution, in our homes as well, we get this education so that we'll be able to take the first step, the first aid, before the arrival of the fire service, and it will help all of us.
Okay. Wow, that was very, very, very informative. So the second question here is, which fire extinguisher makes for the best kitchen fire extinguisher?
So I think I've already mentioned that when I was discussing the use or the types of extinguishers. I indicated that the carbon dioxide, it is also called the gentleman's extinguisher. Okay. It is called gentleman because once you use it on the food and the fire is off, you can still consume your food.
Hey, I never knew that.
Yes, but when you use powder, powder is poisonous. And once it is mixed with the food.
Yeah, we have the types of fire extinguishers displayed. So please take note. And so for how long before our guest continues? Yeah, so let's go back to the fire, the blankets for the second question here is it advisable to use a blanket for fires confined to the stove?
So if you don't have the fire extinguisher, if you have the fire extinguisher, that's the appropriate means of dealing with the fire. But if you don't have the fire extinguisher, then you can use the blanket or the sack or a thick cloth. The only thing is you have to wet it. If you don't wet it, it will itself be on fire and burn. That is why you wet it.
Okay. So for D&J Ventures, you can use a blanket, but it has to be wet. And then, so make sure to wet it if you don't have the fire extinguisher. So let's talk quickly about fire drills, and then we wrap up. How many fire drills does the Ghana National Fire Service embark on, or the training processes? How many times do you do that, and how often?
So every institution must have at least one training in a year. Every institution must have one training in a year. But some institutions, because they cannot release all their personnel at the same time, they arrange so that we take them in batches. So you see a company that we may visit maybe 10 times in a year, depending on the number of people that they employ and how many can be released at a time. There are other companies too, they can just release their people all at a go. So those companies, we visit them once in a year. That is for the training. There are other visits that we do that is different from the training aspect. So it depends on the company. We don't want to create problems for the companies. Already things are difficult. So you don't also say that because I have a mandate to do this, give me all the personnel today. No, we don't want to do that. So we do it at the convenience of the institutions involved. So it depends on which institution.
Okay, so what about communities and schools?
So for communities, as for that one, basically we do the education, not training. We do education because training, if you are doing training, you need to give the people the opportunity to try their hands. There is a difference between practical and theory. And for firefighting, you need the practical aspect as well as the theoretical aspect if you want to be able to be effective. But if we are talking about just the prevention of fires, that is where we do a lot of the education. But if you want to do proper
Yes, they say call the fire service, but are there any processes we need to go through to get to reach the fire service?
Now, let me sound a word of caution that anytime we do education like this, you see a lot of prank calls coming to our end. Please, this education is not for you to be pranking the fire service. If we get hold of you, fortunately now, if you call, we're able to detect your number because we are using screens and your number pops up on the screen. So we're able to identify who is calling. When there is an emergency and you want to call the fire service, you call 192. That is a direct line to the fire service, or the national emergency line 112. 112. Now, as I indicated earlier on, mostly people abuse the emergency lines. So you realize that those who are in real need rather are not able to get through to the fire service. And they complain that we call the fire service and they are not picking. It's not that the fire service is not picking. The system is made in such a way that it is like you activating call waiting on your mobile phone. The only thing is this one, we are unable to get the sound. So until we pick and finish with one person who is online for you to come through, and you know, during emergencies too, you cannot wait forever because somebody is on the line abusing the system. So they will conclude that we call the fire service and the fire service is not responding. No, it's not like that. It is because your brother, your sister is on the line when he's not supposed to be on the line. That is the problem. So you call the emergency line, we'll ask you 1 or 2 questions. So when we are asking you the questions, please, it is just about 10 seconds. That will not destroy anything. Just take your time and give us the details that we are requesting for. For example, even though now we can identify which number you are calling from, we'll still ask you, what is your number? Just to confirm that you are not pranking us. You know, when the person is pranking you, he'll give you a different number. So once that is done, we say thank you. Because if indeed you need help, you not call a different number from your number. So that is some of the things we also do to sieve out the prank calls from the real calls.
Thank you so much. It has been very, very educative and informative here. And so I would like to take your closing remarks to our viewers before we sign.
Now, my closing remarks will be this. Fire safety is as important as your life. Take your fire safety very important and take all the preventive measures. But like I indicated, there are certain fires, no matter what you do, they will still occur. When such incidents occur, or when such fires or other emergencies occur, just immediately call the fire service on our emergency 192 or 112. Don't wait until the situation gets out of hand and then you tend to blame us that the incident happened 30 minutes ago and we have not arrived. It is not our making. For now, we don't have the technology that will automatically prompt us that there is an emergency in your premises. So for now, you have to take a telephone, or if you are close to the fire station, drive directly to the fire station and inform us. Then we'll quickly come to your aid. Those days that we tend to blame the fire service and the incident happened 1 hour before they arrive, they are past and gone. Please, fire management
and everything that's going to be going on there. So do have a bright and beautiful day.
Unclogged TV, Beyond the Policy.